Hello, hello, hello. So, the vlog, of course, is about basically, it's two things. What's the most important thing and what's going on. And the truth is, there are two, always have been. And if you just get this, you see, the one thing that we all try to understand is what is reality. The other thing is, besides what is reality, what is the purpose of reality? And so, in order to understand that, you have to understand that there are two parallel realities going on. The first reality is, let's call it the initial reality, and that is the reality you've been born into. Now, your mind is an absolute genius. They're trying to create computers to mimic the mind, but so far nobody's actually been able to do that. The mind learns tremendous amounts of information. They say that every second we download or we input 400 billion bits of information. Like right now, you may not be thinking about it, but you're aware of the temperature. You're aware of a lot of things in your body. Certainly, your mind is functioning on many, many levels. It's regulating your breath, your heartbeat. Many, many things are going on as we speak. Your consciousness is only 2,000 out of 400 billion bits of data. So you see that on one hand, we live within a universe, and the mind is interacting. Not only the mind, the emotions are interacting. More importantly, because we're social creatures and we're here for each other, we impact each other emotionally. So you have on one hand the physical emotional reality of the individual. But then you have another reality, and that is the intellectual reality. An animal also takes in, let's say, 400 billion bits of information, and they also interact. So they don't have the full human mind, but what makes the human really unique is that we have a mind. In fact, we're the only, if you want to call it mammal, we have a prefrontal lobe. So no other mammal in the world has that. In other words, we have a rational mind independent of our physical emotional self. And that's super critical. Why? Because that means we can think and we can say, why do we exist? I was recently listening to this lady. She has a website, amazing woman, Gula Vision. Basically, she says that the story that sums her up, she's 3 years old, and she says to her mother in the back of the car, she goes, Mommy, why are we? And her mother's like, why are we what? She says, why are we? Who are we meant to become? So, in other words, that's a question that a human being can ask. No animal stops for a moment and says, why are we? Who are we meant to become? And the answer to that is that the second reality, and now this is not a reality that we can see, we kind of in hindsight can experience it, but we can't really see it in foresight because it's happening to us. And that is that we are always transforming to become the next better version of ourselves.